Libby, yeah, Dylan. All right. Thank you so much, guys. And let's get into it. So as you can see, the title of this live training is I've got my student success manager here, Ty. Ty has been working with me for over a year now. And Ty is going to reveal the three main strategies that our students use and that he personally used to get to over 10K a month with his social media marketing agency. Before we get into all that, really important to know this. If you're new to social media marketing, let us know in the chat. And if you are experienced or you've done this before, also let us know, because we want to be able to tailor this training towards you so you get the most out of this. Cool. Srijan, you're completely new. Good to know. Benji as well. Libby, Christian, Chris, Andre, all new. Awesome. Dylan, you're in the 3-day challenge. Hope you're enjoying that so far, man. James, you're new as well. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you for sending that in.
Cool.
So before Ty introduces himself, for any of you guys that have only just come across me, I want to give you a really, really brief info. I won't take too long, so stick with me. So I started my social media marketing agency for fitness coaches and supplement companies back in 2019. If you're familiar with my story, you'll know that we went from 0 to 10K a month in revenue in about 45 days. And then later on, about roughly a year, I think, and 2 months later, we hit 54K in one single month. You can see a screenshot of that there in the month of March in 2021. As you can see here, I want to give you a breakdown of what that actually looked like getting to our first 10K month. If you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see we've got 10 clients. Now, all those clients paid very different amounts. Okay, you can see client number 1, 2.5K, client 2, 4.4K, and then somewhere as little as 128 with client number 7. The reason I want to show you this is to show you that I did not have it all figured out when I started. As you can see, it was a little bit all over the place, and that is completely okay, because when you're starting, you're not going to feel 100% ready. Now, again, roughly 9 months later, we were doing, again, around 50K per month. That was in March 2021. From there, I was able to work with well over 300 business owners. And what we did was we helped them get more followers and get more customers on social media. Now, we also saved them a lot of time. So for them, this was a great deal. They would pay us a monthly fee. They save a bunch of time. They get more growth for their business. It's really a no-brainer. And now my agency pretty much runs on autopilot. So I spend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day checking in on the business. And because I have a team and we've got the right systems in place, that's why I don't have to work this much. Now, when I started, I didn't work 30 minutes a day. I started, and I would work very intensely, 5, 6, maybe 10-hour days, because I was getting things figured out. I was starting it up, and you just have to put in a little bit more time at the start when you're figuring things out. Now, from there, I started mentoring, because obviously I'd done it successfully myself. And I worked with a couple people on a one-to-one basis and realized, hey, cool, this is something that I enjoy. And it's something that I'd love to do long term. So from there, we've been able to help over 100 people make up to $17,000 per month with our agencies. We've actually had a couple of people go past that, I believe. We have a guy, Pavel, who hit over 20K a month. So yeah, we've had a pretty crazy journey over the last 3 years. We've had people like Kieran. He signed a 1K a month client for 3 months, which means he has 3K guaranteed to come in over 3 months, literally within 1 week inside of our mentorship program. We have Katie. She now makes just under 5K a month. She quit her job at the start of this year, and she's in this position literally as of, I think, last week. So pretty impressive transformation for Katie right there. Sam was able to sign a 12,000 euro client, which is absolutely crazy. And he now makes over 5K a month. That's my story. Those are the people I've worked with. And this is Ty.
Awesome. Sweet. All right. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to hop on today. Super excited to share with you guys some of the lessons that I've taken from running my own agency. And also, again, just like Adam, helping others start their agency through the 6-Figure Accelerator program. A bit about my story here. So I went from flat zero, knowing nothing about marketing. I didn't study marketing, don't have a degree in marketing, to just around 17K per month within the last 2 years with my social media marketing agency. Also, while doing that, while in college full time. I've actually just graduated college 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I don't even know. 2 days ago, I graduated college. So I was doing this really on the side with just a couple hours a day. And I was able to go from 0 to 17K a month within the last couple of years with that. And I also, again, mentor alongside Adam inside the six-figure accelerator program for about the last year. And it's been one of the greatest privileges I've had in my career, getting to work alongside everyone else, getting to see them start from zero, or we have agency owners that come in already making maybe 1, 2, 3K per month and helping them scale to that next level there. I've had also one-on-one calls with over 100 students inside that program. So I really do feel like I understand exactly what works, what doesn't. And I've seen, across hundreds of different agencies, the consistencies with the person that runs it, how they do things. And there's really so much wisdom in that. Those one-to-one calls are something we do with everyone that joins. So I've literally talked to everyone that's joined the program. So I really have, I think, quite a good pulse on what's working, what isn't. So let's get into that there.
Cool. So just before we hop in, guys, and before Ty runs the show here, a little bit of housekeeping. Yeah, if you can just keep yourself muted, just in case there's any background noise, you can unmute yourself at the end of this, where we can do a Q&A, and you can just talk to us freely, or you can type questions in the chat. You can also leave and rejoin, and this will be recorded for you to watch. We'll probably be here for the next, it could be 30 to 40 minutes. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Sweet. So what we're going to cover in this training today are, again, the top 3 strategies to make 10K plus per month with your social media marketing agency. Now, the 3 strategies are here. We're going to do deep dive into each of these points. And at the end, if you guys have any questions as to what this looks like, or you want to know more specifically anything about these 3 things, we can touch on that there. But the first point is becoming the person becoming the person first, right? So we actually just did my mastermind in Miami, where we talked all about the character building and all that goes into becoming that 10K per month person, because you're not going to make 10K per month with 10 euro an hour effort. Second point here we're going to talk about is finding accountability and support to keep you motivated and progressing towards your goal. I know before I started my agency, I had tried a couple other different models and things like that. And it's hard running an online business to really stay in it and also know what you need to do. So we'll talk a little bit more about that there. And also the high income skill you'll need to actually scale your 6-figure business. It's not just about who you need to be, but also what you need to do. So we'll talk about on a day-to-day basis as a 6-figure agency owner or someone who's trying to get to that 6-figure mark, what should you be doing? All right, so we're about to give you guys the 3 strategies that you need to make 10K plus per month with your social media agency. Drop a yes in chat if you guys are ready for that.
All right, Oscar, Srijan, Benji, Dylan, awesome to see.
Sweet. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
let's get on to it.
It's time to go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sweet. All right. So you want to go ahead and take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So strategy 1 is becoming the person first, as Ty just mentioned. So again, to make 10K a month, you need to be the person that thinks and acts as if you're already making 10K a month. It's a little bit of a weird exercise, but it's really, really important that you start to think and believe that you're already going to be successful before you are. If you tell yourself, I want to make 10K a month, but then you're still falling into the old habits you have, routines, and pretty much the things that you know are keeping you stuck, it's really unrealistic for you to expect yourself to level up and become a 6-figure earner if you're always slipping back, right? You have to rearrange your life and the habits and the routines that you have to match being a 6-figure earner. So if you don't take care of your health, for example, if you neglect responsibilities in your life and you have a really hard time sticking to any plans and goals that you set out, you need to try and fix these areas in your life to make it in business, because business and your personal life link together. They're not 2 different things. They actually are basically the same. So if your personal life is really messy, you need to start to work on that while building your business. You can do the 2 at the same time. You don't have to have it all figured out and have a perfect life, but just know that it makes sense for you to focus on improving your life, because that will actually improve the results you get from business. A lot of business is consistency, right? Showing up every single day and doing what you need to do. And you can't do that if you're in a very bad place, or if you just don't have the right mindset, because you're going to fall off. And on the days you're not motivated, you probably won't do the work. One of the biggest drivers for my personal success was my shift from being a victim to an owner, right? So instead of thinking, poor me, and, life is out to get me, and I've never had any lucky breaks, I started thinking, you know what? I'm the owner of my life, right? I make choices every day. I have habits. I have routines. I'm going to take full responsibility, and I'm going to put the blame on myself. So if I don't get results, I'm going to say to myself, Adam, you didn't get results because you clearly didn't do whatever you needed to do to get the results. And then I have to basically, convince myself that I have to take the hard right over the easy left. Okay. So when I'm presented with a choice each day, I can sleep in or I can get up early and work on my business. I get up early. Hey, some days you're going to sleep in, but as long as you get up and do what you got to do 5 or 6 days out of the week, you're going to be in a very good position. And just to give you guys a quick breakdown, this is the difference from all the students we have worked with between the person that makes 0 a month and the person that makes 10K a month. Right? There's a lot of detail on this, so feel free to take a screenshot of this one. Let's just look at this in categories. Okay. So your diet, the 10K a month agency owner doesn't complicate their diet, right? They just focus on meals that don't bloat them or distract them or make them feel bad, right? Basically just meals that are going to help them sit down and do productive work. Whereas the 0 per month agency owner is not even going to think about this. They're just going to eat whatever is on the plate in front of them, which is, again, that is fine. And there's many successful business owners that have big businesses and they just eat McDonald's every day. But if you want to be a 6-figure earner, but also a 6-figure person, I think you got to dial in these areas as well. When it comes to exercise and training, what I have found is that most successful agency owners work out a few times a week. Okay. They're focusing on working out to boost their health, their mental cognition, their productivity. Of course, they want to look a certain way and look good, but they don't go too extreme. And this is what I find with 0 a month agency owners. They either work out 7 days a week or no workouts. What's actually better for us is actually this kind of balance between maybe 3, 4, or 5 times a week. When it comes to relationships, a lot of successful agency owners only have, relationships where there are clear boundaries and when the relationship makes sense. So they don't let people walk all over them. They stand their grounds. They know what they're going to do each day, and they don't, just submit to whatever anybody else wants them to do. Whereas someone who's not making a lot of money and really struggling with their business typically uses relationships to feel good because they're making up for the lack of results that they have in their business and their life. So then they just have to basically, cuddle with whoever it is at night who's not a good fit for them, and they know it, but they'll just do that because it'll make them feel good in the short term. This isn't to say that relationships are bad. You should definitely have them, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships, but when it makes sense, and make sure that you put you and your business first. So boundaries. A successful person knows when to limit time with certain people or activities. Okay. And this leads into the last couple of points that we'll fire through really, really quickly, such as there's a lot of very unsuccessful people who don't know why they're unsuccessful, but then they play video games for 3 hours a day. They watch Netflix every single night for 2 hours, and they're watching porn and smoking weed. Like, of course you can do those things, but if you're doing those things, you just have a lot less chance of becoming successful because you're pretty much wasting your time. Like, you're wasting your time on activities, again, to make up for results that you're not seeing in your business. Mm-hmm. So Ty, how would you describe the 10K a month agency owner?
Awesome. A lot of great points there, Adam. And I think that it all comes down to who, not how. And like you mentioned, like one of the very first things we do with new agency owners is we go and we deep dive with them on their personal life. We try to figure out what are the habits that serve you and what is actually holding you back. So from everything that I've seen from talking with hundreds of agency owners, the 4 most important characteristics, personal characteristics of an agency owner, are these ones right here. So very first thing is that they are gritty. They know when to push and they know when to pivot. They're able to stay consistent for long enough to see that things are working or not working. And when things aren't working, they know, okay, I need to make that switch. And I know a lot of the times people, especially with online businesses, they switch models every 2 weeks sometimes. And it's so important that you're able to stay consistent long enough to actually start to see that compound effect with your agency. Because when I started at 0. But if you look at the last 9 months of my agency, that's when you really start to see the exponential curve really take off. So it's important that you're able to stay gritty with that. Second thing here is that you have to be very analytical, right? Or you can learn to be analytical, and there are tools and resources out there like the Outreach Tracker, like in 6-Figure Accelerator program. Mm-hmm. You can definitely learn these skills, but we have the saying, what gets measured gets improved. Because if you're just going out there, as Adam says, pissing into the wind, you're not going to get results. You have to look at what are you doing, what's working, what isn't working, and make the decision to know when you need to push and to know when you need to pivot. The third point here is being an action taker. And the saying here is, do I need information or do I need execution? When you're getting started, there's probably something you need to learn, and there's resources out there for you to go out and learn those things. But some people, they know everything they need, and they just need to go out and take action on those things. So you need to be an action taker when it comes to finding that information or finding something else that's going to help you, or going out and actually executing on it, depending on where you are in your journey. So knowing when you need information and knowing when you need execution. And the fourth one here, and I think you kind of touched on this already, Adam, responsibility, right? Saying I am totally responsible for my success and my failures, kind of getting out of that victim mindset and making that shift, like you talked about, from going from a victim to being an agency owner. And like we've talked about before, so many people think they have problems in their business. What they actually have are problems in their personal life that show up in their business. Yeah. If you guys are in the six-figure accelerator program, you've heard me say that probably 100 times, but it really is so important to get this part down pat. Cool. All right. So strategy number 2 here, actually.
Typo, excuse us.
Yeah. Adam is on his way to the 10K per month agency owner. He's got a ways to go. Strategy number 2 here, finding strong accountability and support. So you can accelerate your growth 10x, 20x, 30x if you surround yourself with the right people. And I know this because when I got started, I was, again, just pissing into the wind. I wasn't measuring anything, and I was kind of just floating around, to be honest with you. So in my example, it took me 15 months of work to go from 0 to only 3K with my agency. And that's because I didn't have strong accountability. I didn't have strong support. And I was doing all of those things that we talked about that non-agency owners do, the people that are at 0 per month. I was doing all those things. But when I found the correct accountability, when I found the support, it took me only 90 days to double what took me 15 months to make. So in 90 days, I was able to go from 3 to 6K per month after finding that strong accountability, after taking 15 months to go from 0 to 3K. So the moral of the story here is the difference was I had real accountability, support, and focus. We're social creatures. And when you have that accountability and that focus, you're able to go much farther. It's like that cliche saying of, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I always wanted to go far. I knew I wanted to be a 6 or maybe potentially one day 7-figure per year agency owner. So for me, I had to find that. And this brings up the next point, which is the online entrepreneur pitfall. So like I said before, if you've ever tried to start an online business, you probably know how hard it is to stay motivated, because I'm sitting in front of my computer. It's not the most engaging thing in the world, right? There are so many distractions. You can get shiny object syndrome, where you're maybe chasing another business model or chasing something else that you want. So when you're an online entrepreneur, it's really important to find discipline. And sometimes the best discipline doesn't come from yourself. Sometimes you find discipline in that accountability. So that's why it took me over a year to make any serious money with my agency, is because I was in that online entrepreneur pitfall of, I'm not really motivated, I'm distracted, there's lots of things going on. And that was probably the biggest drawback that happened to me, and that I've seen happen to others when they start their agency, not having that proper accountability. But once I found my accountability, I was able to really focus and commit 100% to the life that I wanted to build. And before, it was, I wanted to make 10K per month, but I wasn't taking the actions. I didn't have the systems. I didn't have the people and the support that I needed to actually hit that point. So the secret formula with this one here, it brings back to one of the points we talked about earlier: execution and information. I didn't see success in my agency because I lacked the 2 most important things. I lacked the information that I needed to actually go out and start making money with my business. And I also lacked the execution. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. And even if I did, I wasn't doing it. So I had to go out and find that support and accountability. That support and that accountability, one, gave me the path. I was able to learn from hundreds of other agency owners that were actually out there in the trenches making money with this all the time. That was absolutely integral for me, actually getting that information. And 2, I was able to execute because I had that support. I had that accountability. I was showing up to the group coaching calls every single week. I was ready to go. And that really built me up continuously. It was that consistency that gave me the ability to reach this point.
Sweet. Guys, if you are still with us, drop a 1 in the chat. I've just been listening to Ty for the last few minutes, and I'm just like, yep, agreed with everything he just said. It is all super on point. Awesome. I see a bunch of 1s in the chat. Wow. Blowing up the chat. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Cool. So strategy 3, Ty, let's get into it.
Awesome. So strategy 3 is the real meat in starting an agency. We talked about these personal development things. We talked about finding accountability, but this right here is what's actually going to make you money with your agency. The other things you need, they're important, but this right here is what's going to actually make you money with your social media marketing agency. So this was the skill that I needed to hit 10K plus per month. It's the most important high income skill you need to run an agency. And it's probably not what you think it is. It's not that you need to know how to deliver the service better than anyone else. In fact, I don't know anything about that. I don't deliver the service in my agency. So I definitely can't speak on that. I'm definitely not the best at what I do. It's not being the best at sales. It's not being the best at communication. And it's certainly not cold showers or meditation or anything else that the gurus tell you that you need to do if you want to become a millionaire. None of that stuff matters. It's revenue generating activities. And with your agency, we call that outreach. So some of you guys are probably wondering what TF is outreach, right? Outreach is basically just the process of going out and finding clients to pay your agency. So in my agency, outreach gets us clients. And on average, you can see the screenshot right down here. The average client at my agency pays us around 5.6. I think it's closer to 5.7. If you look at the screenshot there, that's the average that they'll pay us over their lifetime. So outreach is what actually goes out and gets us those clients. Outreach is what actually makes that money. And it's very easy to complicate everything and try to focus on, oh, I need to get the service down pat. Oh, I need to learn how to do this thing. But what you need is a client who's going to pay you, right? So outreach is one of the most important parts of running an agency. We'll talk about how it works now. Very first thing you need to do when you're figuring out, how do I conduct effective outreach? How do I go out and find these clients that are going to pay my agency thousands of dollars over their lifetime, or even thousands of dollars per month? We've had a client that paid us around $3,000 per month, which is pretty much a full-time job for me. The very first thing you need to identify with outreach is find who it is you're selling and what you're selling to them. So we call this service niche synergy, right? This is something that we talk about in the six-figure accelerator program. And you can sell anything and not be the ones to deliver the service, but you need to know where to start. You need to know what exactly it is that you're selling. So some of the things that we see students sell are things like social media management, content creation, Facebook ads, email marketing are probably some of those popular ones. My agency, we sell social media management and content creation. The list goes on though, right? You can sell lots of different things to lots of different people, but very first thing you need to decide is what exactly are you going to sell? And from there, move on to the next slide here. And it's all about reaching out to your potential clients. So once you know what exactly it is you're going to sell, maybe you decide, okay, I want to sell social media management to the potential clients that are out there. And you don't even know, again, how to deliver the service. You don't need to know that because I don't deliver the service myself. I have a team that does it. It's completely on autopilot. I don't touch it. But yeah, you need to start actually reaching out to those clients. And there's just so many ways to find clients. I say dozens on the slide, but I think there probably are more because these are the ones we see most popular in the six-figure accelerator program, but there's a lot of other different platforms out there that people use. First, you have Instagram, which is a fan favorite. Upwork, which is one that I particularly like. We have a lot of different trainings on that, those scripts and stuff like that. Cold emails is another one that is pretty much an agency staple. And LinkedIn is another one that we see a lot of people go on. And the idea is that you know what you're going to sell, and now you just have to reach out to the businesses that are on these platforms and pretty much offer them a call, offer them a freebie to sell the service. And my agency, we actually do outreach via SMS message, which is pretty much like on a cell phone. Don't have my cell phone here, so I'm glad Adam has his. Adam's agency, they actually use pretty much fully Instagram, but there's, again, so many different ways to close clients. And this is all covered in depth if you're in the six-figure program. All right. Tip number 3, I think this is for actually doing outreach to generate you revenue, get you clients on board, is to create and test messages that work. And again, we're trying to bring this all together here. So what gets measured gets improved is something that we talked about earlier. When you're getting started with outreach, you'll want to measure as much as you can. And again, there are trackers and things out there. If you're not someone who considers themselves analytical, if you really don't like numbers, it's okay. It's really not that complex. It's just a matter of looking and seeing what is working, what isn't working, and just doubling down on what is, right? It takes time and intentionality to find an outreach message and a process that's going to generate you 10K plus per month. We say that it's not easy, but it is simple. Yes, that's how we say it. And this is, again, one of the largest focuses within the six-figure accelerator program, because outreach is what generates profit directly. So measuring what exactly is going to get you that client, what's exactly going to get you that revenue through the door, and just continuously looking and seeing what do I need to do today to make that money. Tip number 4 here is to have a freebie. This is also sometimes called a lead magnet. If you guys are more into the online marketing space, almost every agency owner in the program that actually scales really well, they have a case study or something else that they give away for free to turn strangers into customers, right? So we've covered, first you're going to figure out what exactly is it that you're selling. Then you're going to find out, okay, I'm going to go and reach out to businesses on this platform. You figured out, okay, I need to test and see what's working here. Now you'll want to find something that you can give them for free. So you can give them away a case study, and you don't need results to even actually build out a case study. You can do what we call the compare and contrast method. I think Adam probably has a couple of videos on YouTube about that if you're interested. Build out a case study, and you can give that away to your client or your prospect at this point. And in exchange for that, a lot of times they'll be willing to book calls with you where you can actually sell them on your service. So we give our students in the program actually access to a template for a case study, but you don't have to build a case study. There's so many different things you can do. My agency, we actually don't use a case study. I know a lot of other agencies do. We go straight in for a call, and on that call is where we sell the service and close the clients. And then again, every agency owner pretty much in the program, they have something to give away for free. Case study is the most popular. And what's really nice about a case study is that the case study will do a lot of the selling for you, right? So you don't actually have to go across and really do a whole lot of your own sales when you're reaching out to these businesses. The idea is if you can get this case study in their hands, as they go through it, the case study will cover everything they need to know about the service, how it can help their business, and then ultimately how you can help them. So you don't have to even really learn a whole lot about sales. I know that's something that a lot of agency owners, they get really caught up on, is they think, oh, I need to know how to sell this thing first. And it's like, no, we can build something that will do the selling for you. So that's why the case study really is a fan favorite. And at my agency, once we cracked our outreach, scaling was just algebra for us. We figured out, okay, well, everything that we're doing here is working. We know the numbers. So if I want to make 10K plus per month, I know exactly how much work my team needs to do, not even myself, right? It's just a matter of figuring out, okay, well, we need to send more messages if we want to close more clients. It's a